there's so many comments in here. Okay, let's start with David. Thank you, David. He goes, hey, how much money will Billups give Trump to get a pardon?
Oh. We're not supposed to talk about politics on this show, but no, I'll be intrigued to see. This is a long, drawn-out process. Billups and his agent over the weekend were just unbelievably defiant. This is not who I am. What the FBI said is not correct. And then I tried to connect the dots for you that he might have been an innocent bystander who was invited to play poker in a celebrity thing and meet people, not knowing that two of the other guys that force him around the table were underworld mafioso types. So we're not done yet.
Not done yet. People always getting a little smack in there. I guess, see, if you put some money behind the question, I move them to the top of the line. That's why we had to kick off with a little bit of politics. Okay, let's go to Greg. He says, hey, do you think Brian Kelly eventually ends up at USC?
I wouldn't touch him. He's lost me as a supporter, and he did a phenomenal job at Cincinnati. And then what he did at Notre Dame was absolutely amazing. But the stuff that I saw happen at LSU, his treatment of his players, his program, his boosters in the media, to me was a terrible turnoff. I think he's got personal problems. I'll be interested to see if anybody wants to touch him. He might be a little bit toxic right now. And by the way, USC's got a coach, Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley, they give him all the resources in the world to make USC a national power. He's going to put this thing in the playoffs this season, and we'll see how far they go.
Okay, tell me if you experience this as well. Is that whenever we talk about Brian Kelly or Chip Kelly, I have to pause a beat and make sure I'm remembering the right one. Mm-hmm. And then in the NBA, in the NFL, it's the same way with the McDaniels and the McCarthys, and there's multiple McDaniels that are in coaching,
right?
And so you always have to just pause and go, okay, now I know who I'm talking about. Does it confuse you sometimes?
Sometimes. But at the end of the day, I know Chip Kelly and I know what he did. Mm-hmm. And at one point, he was upper echelon on my wish list of really great coaches, and he has just muddied the waters something. And obviously, what Brian Kelly did at LSU, to me, I think was terrible. The governor got involved. The governor of the state of Louisiana interceded, and he told the people at LSU, you need to get rid of this head coach, and they did.
Well, a lot of times the head football coach is the highest paid state employee, mm-hmm. So the governor definitely should be able to weigh in on that sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, what's interesting too, I just kind of another weird tangent. We never, ever refer to LSU as Louisiana State, do we?
No, back in the day they were. Way back. I grew up. They had a Heisman Trophy winner. It might have been the first great player that ever played there. His name was Billy Cannon. And they referred to it as Louisiana State University, but the marketing and all that made it LSU.
Yeah, because other schools that we refer to by their letters, like USC, we still call them Southern California. We still call them other names, but not LSU.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving here, and let's go to Callan. Some hockey talk here. Or no, this is San Diego FC. Afternoon, gents. What a night at Snapdragon. I was in the supporters section, seeing that sellout crowd, 32,500, bringing the energy for the full 90 was electric. Also, Dreyer's ice cream for MVP.
Dreyer's having a hell of a season. If Lionel Messi was not in Miami, Dreyer would be the MVP in the league. But Messi has scored 29 goals already this season, and Dreyer has just crossed the threshold at 20. But I mean, credit the leadership. What the general manager has done to sight and scope and sign guys. I mean, they went to Denmark, and that's where they found Dreyer. I mean, why Dreyer's not playing in the English Premier League is just absolutely amazing because he's so gifted and he's so fast and he's got such a wide variety of shots. What a perfect player. And the crowds, you said 90 minutes? Dude, they were there at 1:00. They were partying at 1 for a 6:30 game. I mean, it was just electric. And the flags and the samba music and the sombreros and the cowboy hats. I mean, and they know how to package it. I mean, it's a festival more than anything else.
Oh yeah. That's what makes it fun. I mean, it's a cultural experience. Mm-hmm. And so, I was scrolling through X and people are saying, see, San Diego FC is like the biggest sport in San Diego because we know there's always been this pent up soccer fandom here. And now there's finally a team. Mm-hmm. But it's another thing is I remember seeing like all of the professional leagues, with the Premier League at the top, they were all kind of stack ranked. And they had, MLS, I think it was like number 8 or something like that, because there's all the La Ligas and there's the A and the B and in Spain and in Italy and everything else. So with Anders Dreyer, I wonder, where did he come from? I mean, was he playing at a higher level than MLS?
He's playing in the Danish league.
So, yeah, I wonder how that Danish league is in that stack ranking. I'm just curious.
This guy's a player.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
he's a hell of a player. And
tall and rangy and can run. He's got a rocket shot. He scored on a header, which was amazing. He was a long ways out.
And he's an assist man too.
Yeah.
So he just gets the touches. I mean, when the ball gets to him and with Chucky, it's like different, something different's going to happen.
And they push the tempo. I mean, they're pressure. Just what Mikey Veras has them playing, you don't see very often. I mean, a lot of soccer is methodical. Just move it up the pitch, passes. These guys just push. And the pressure they put on the defenders around the box, on the fullbacks, and the pressure that they put on goalkeepers, just amazing. What a collection. And again, I give management a lot of credit. They went to Europe and they found the unique players to fit this system. Okay, Callum, thank you.
Okay, here's a two-parter from Manga. Starts out with, "Where are you on the Ted Williams parking lot, Saw?" And goes on to say, we had another comment from here, and it was with Manga, and I think I scrolled past it. Oh, yeah, here it is. He says, but bat Ohtani 4th, and the Dodgers win in 5.
Yeah, Ohtani is statistically not having a great World Series. In fact, the Dodgers collectively, I think the Dodger batting average is now like 225 in postseason, which is kind of amazing. But we'll see what happens. People do hit home runs at Dodger Stadium. So this thing at 5:00 tonight, there could be balls flying out of there. In Toronto, they don't get cheated. They get their cuts in and they hit. They don't strike out. They put the ball in play, as witnessed by what the hell they did to Snell and that bullpen. So this will be interesting if Toronto continues to play long ball and they'll hit some at Dodger Stadium. Can the Dodgers hit some at Dodger Stadium? It's going to be kind of a cool series.
It's going to be Tinseltown in the stands. We're going to see Rob Lowe on TV. We're going to see all these guys, Magic Johnson is going to be there.
Everybody will be there.
Everybody's going to be there.
I did not have any time today because I've been running from press conferences to press conferences. I didn't have any time today to try to dig the TV ratings up, but the TV ratings in Canada have to be unbelievable. And the TV ratings in Japan are at an all-time high. Now, I'll be intrigued to see what the TV numbers are here in the United States, because National League Championship Series, those numbers were really substandard compared to what they had been.
Yeah, they have been. And let me ask you this question. What is it about Kike Hernandez that suddenly just is the dude in the postseason?
Different version of Mr. October.
Yeah, isn't it just weird, And he's a personality too. But the dude just comes through in the postseason.
Yeah, guy hits 221 and postseason it's 306.
Yeah,
and exactly. He keeps doing it every October.
Yeah, I saw that he is like about to surpass the most number of playoff games for the Dodgers in Dodger history. And I'm like, who would have thought?
Utility man.
Yeah, he went to Boston there for a little while, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep on going. We'll go here to Casey. He goes, "Hey, as a USC fan here, I give props to San Diego State, as that was a nice win over Fresno State over the weekend, and they're looking good.
They really come together, and their defense is playing at a level that has been phenomenal. They legitimately, I think, have a chance to go 10-2 and be in the championship game. Now, I don't know if, Boise has beaten Vegas, so that's taking a little bit of luster off UNLV, but one of those two teams is probably going to be in the championship game. Aztecs are going to play Boise in 2 weeks. Here, that stadium has to be sold out. If San Diego State can win that, they could wind up being 10-2, even 11-1, which nobody outside of Sean Lewis's dog could have ever imagined that. So, unique year. They've stayed free of injuries, had nothing catastrophic. Defense is putting up mystical metrics, numbers. Offense is not dominant, although they are playing good power ball. They are pounding the football a little bit. So this has been cool. I mean, 6-1, 6-1, and they'll take care of Wyoming. That'll be 7-1. Then they get Boise here.
Yeah, there was a moment in that game where Jaden Denegal got hurt.
He got dinged
in his right shoulder, and you're like, oh, here we go. And Emmanuel came in, did a good job, but then Denegal came back. But it just seems like they go 3 deep at running back, and they just keep passing that rock around, and every one of those guys, starting with Lucky Sutton, I mean, they're getting 5-7 yards a go.
Yep.
I mean, so they got a really nice team there. I mean, we always talk about Trey White on the defensive line, but one of those cornerbacks has been getting a lot of love from the press.
Chris Johnson's had a tremendous year.
Yeah.
But collectively, that whole back end is pretty good. And the linebacking core, obviously led by Trey White, is really good. Intangible is the offensive front. Last year they were wrecked by injuries in the offensive line, and they've started the same 5 offensive linemen every game this season. The offensive line has grown. That's why Lucky Sutton's running for 188 yards a game.
Yeah. Good on him. Good on Sean Lewis. I mean, dude is not going to stop smiling for a week at least. Okay, let's go here to Arnie. Because the NBA gambling scandal is just sad. Need a clean house. NBA leadership needs to take a hard look at itself.
Well, the question is, it's society. It's everywhere. I mean, you go to the other street corner, there's a scandal involving the NCAA and kids shaving points. There's at least 14 kids that are under investigation, have left schools. And I'll tell you, it's got to be more than that. But it's all a byproduct of gambling and contacts. And so the only way you do is you start to expel everybody. You start to expel every player who gets involved in this at the NCAA level. Maybe that's the message. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what people are going to do behind closed doors in their free time. I don't know how you can police the whole thing. That's a problem.
Well, it's one thing if a player is given inside information on an injury, or if a player is dogging it, so they play very few minutes to rig the game. But it's a whole other thing, this gambling mafia, with these marks that, come rolling in with millions of dollars and get taken. I mean, that's like a movie script.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something completely different.
Yeah.
But as far as just the regular day in and day out gambling, yeah, you're right. That ain't going away. That you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
But the integrity of the game is the most important thing.
Yeah, we haven't lost that yet. There's been moments where it got kind of shaky. In the steroid era, it was kind of weird integrity.
Yep.
So yeah, they got to police it.
Yeah, this tip of the iceberg. That's the only way I can describe where we are now. Wouldn't surprise me to see more and more and more come out. The only way to solve it is the death penalty for players or management people that are involved. That's the only way to end this. Okay, Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And here's a shout out from XX Revolution. This person's on our live stream every single time. Bonjour du Canada. It's my birthday today.
All right. Tip a cold one for us.
Okay.
Labatt's or Molson's? Molson's.
Okay, let's go here to Carlos. Hey, go Pack go. Second half of the Steelers game, that Green Bay defensive pass rush was relentless.
And Pittsburgh is not what Pittsburgh was. They spent all this money on their secondary, and those guys can't cover. I mean, I'm so stunned at how bad Jalen Ramsey is. Maybe he's at age 31. He's just kind of reached the end of the limit, but they don't have a deep passing game. I use the word pedestrian, but that's what Pittsburgh's offense is right now. And they have now had back-to-back games. They gave up 420 to Cincinnati. He gave up 464 last night. Pittsburgh looks to be a shell of itself right now. So they're not happy in the Steel City with Tomlin. They're not happy with anything with Pittsburgh Steeler football.
Was that supposed to be the revenge game or something like that?
Well, everybody painted it, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay, etc. But Rodgers treated it as a special reunion because everything I've earned in football, I earned in Green Bay. So I have this special relationship. He didn't make it a grudge game.
Yeah. It's just kind of a weird drama with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this his last year in the NFL, or do you think he might stick around another year?
I think it has to be his last year because he's become a very pedestrian quarterback on a team that has a Neanderthal offense.
Pedestrian Neanderthal. Okay, here, let's go, Jeff, talking Dodger baseball. He says, hey, talk about the big money. Hey, it's great for baseball. Not our fault if they want to spend money on players.
Well, I don't have a problem with luxury tax. And all that money is being pumped into the pool that goes out to be revenue share. I have a problem that half the owners are taking it and are not spending it on talent on their roster. So for every Dodger, there's a Minnesota. For every Yankee or Met and their expenditures, there's a Miami, Tampa Bay, and baseball allows that, and the union allows it. We don't need a salary cap. Luxury tax kind of works as a salary cap, but there's so much money being made. Don't shut this sport down. This sport right now has all-time records in attendance, revenue, and TV rating. Don't freaking shut this down, but find a formula that forces Miami and forces Kansas City and Pittsburgh to pour more money into the product. Because I guarantee you, Jeff, if you made baseball what the NFL is, where everybody has a chance to win, your record attendance and revenue would go through the roof. If everybody has a chance. If you were in Pittsburgh and they were in a pennant race in September for a wild card spot because your owners had spent money and had a decent-sized payroll of 150, they'd sell out every game. And that'd be good. The whole thing would be good for the sport. That's what makes the NFL so successful. And they have a cap, but they also have a floor to spending.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, if they did the Florida spending, if the Pittsburgh ownership would maybe sell the team, they're like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to lose money, whatever.
No, you're not. Nobody's losing money.
Right. So
you're investing to make money.
That's the whole angle, right? Yeah. You gotta spend money to make money. And, the whole Dodger, the salary cap and all the money. I mean, I don't object to it, just in the general economic terms. If they want to spend the money, go for it. But as a fan of a competitive team, yeah, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to still call him the evil empire for freaking buying Ohtani and the whole Gold Star pitching staff and Teoscar Hernandez and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. I mean, they're freaking buying this thing. I mean, I'm sure they've got Sheehan, sure they got Andy Pages. Okay. Clayton Kershaw. Okay. But look, Snell is getting a bucket load. Ohtani's freaking getting close to $1 billion. And then not to count all the sponsorship revenue they're getting. So I'm going to call it out. I'm going to complain about it, but I don't necessarily want Major League Baseball to set a hard cap or something like that. I don't think that's necessary.
Baseball's got to solve the problem with half the teams that don't want to spend.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's a solution to this, and don't stop the season. Okay, we move on.
Okay, let's go to John. He goes, hey, non-World Series baseball question. Is Bryce Harper on his way out of Philadelphia?
David Dombrowski says no. Why David Dombrowski ever raised the statement, I wonder if he'll ever be elite again, I think is really unfair to Bryce Harper. He said 2 major injuries in a year, fractured elbow and forearm or shoulder. And he's not the player he was, but he's also 31 years of age, and it's a lot of wear and tear on the body. But Dombrowski created this by making that statement. Why would you make that statement? The guy's in your lineup every minute of every day. Now, Bryce Harper's offended, but no, they're going to go through some retooling. There'll be some people leaving. Maybe Schwarber's going to exit as a free agent, but there'll be some changes on that roster, but he's not going to be traded.
Imagine if Padre ownership said the same thing about Manny Machado. That would be ugly. Right?
It would be ugly, but I tell you, there's a lot of anti-Machado people that I run across.
Fans or people like in baseball operations, baseball know?
I think I'm just talking fan sentiment more than anything.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like never throw your guys under the bus in public. There's no point. You get no benefit to doing that.
I concur.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on.
Okay, and here, I'm going to get a flurry of different people in here just to get, there's new names in here that I think is great. From Rob. He goes, it's not as if the Jays couldn't afford to do what the Dodgers did. Plenty of bank behind them.
Yep, owned by Rogers. Rogers owns everything north of the border. Big communication company.
Well, they were willing to give Ohtani a bucket load.
Sure, yeah. And their payroll's at $229, that's legitimate. Now, the Canadian team, and this was a thing that killed the Montreal Expos, the Canadian situation is the difference between the American dollar and the U.S. dollar. Because all your money, all your expenses are paid in U.S. dollars. So there's different expenses that a Canadian team has to put into their budget system because the cost of operation in U.S. dollars is a lot more than it is in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, that can play a role.
Yep.
Now, did you see the quote from Dave Roberts was saying that going through customs and everything was a lot more difficult? Do you think the Canadians are giving them the business?
Oh, they're giving them crap like you wouldn't believe right now. And we got home at 5:29 in the morning. Well, so what? Travel is tough. I mean, the Blue Jays, they do that all season long.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, that travel is really hard. If you're a Canadian team coming to play in the States and customs, and I've been there, I've done that. The wear and tear factor, the amount of time it takes. The Dodgers did it one time. Quit bitching.
Well, it makes you wonder if all of the, the difference in the value of money and the exchange rates and everything, if that played a role in Ohtani turning down the deal with the Blue Jays and the complexity of the international thing.
I don't think so, only because I think culture had something to do with it. Marketing had something to do with it. And you're marketing in the number 2 market in the country in LA with a phenomenal response of Japanese advertisers and endorsement packages. That's different than being in Canada.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Toronto is a very cosmopolitan city.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody is from some other nation.
Mm-hmm.
So, granted, it's not like the West Coast, but I bet you there's a good Japanese contingent up there.
Yeah. But it makes all the sense in the world that it was Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is different than New York. The coverage in New York is so suppressive on you. LA is very different. I don't know if I call it laid back, but it's different to be a star here than would be a star there.
And then so when you are one of the few that offer the challenging questions from the media, and they're like, Hacksaw's a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm just asking
I know
the questions.
I know, but I mean, the journalism guys in the East Coast, they're going to be a lot more, blunt,
Mm-hmm.
right? And challenging.
And where did I come from?
Yeah, in Long Island.
Okay. No apologies. That's history. Okay, let's move on here. We're running out of time.
We are running out of time. And again, it's some new names here. And when Bruce says, hey, every team owner can spend, but chose not to. We got big cities, so winning a championship is all it's about. And Julio says, hey, at least the Dodgers can pay their bills.
Yeah.
So I love seeing all these new people in here. So I think this is great. And who is this one here? Oh, yeah, this is from Michael. And talking San Diego State football, he goes, hey, why is San Diego State not in the top 25? Their defense has only given up 34 points.
Well, it's strength of schedule. Even in the group of 5 schools, they're not in the upper echelon, the group of 5. The Navy is unbeaten. Navy's got one of the most unique quarterback storylines ever. There's going to be a group of 5 team that'll be in the college playoffs, but San Diego State is way down here considering who they have played, and Navy is up here unbeaten. And there's some other teams that are in that same mix. So that's why they are where they are. I'd be fascinated if the Aztecs could finish 10-2, get to a good bowl game. Hell, the Holiday Bowl ought to change their structure. Wouldn't you love to see the Holiday Bowl have San Diego State play somebody from the ACC or the Big 12? Because that's where the alignments are.
I like the Holiday Bowl to be a quarterfinal in a 16-team bracket.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's down the road. We're not.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of this thing about the Aztecs in the top 25, there's still, we talked about the East Coast bias and ignorance when it comes to the basketball poll. Well, sure as hell that exists in the football pool too.
Well, beat Boise State, which has national rep. That changes.
Well, yeah, but you said just who have they played, and they beat Fresno.
But Fresno is
but
okay. You could argue with me, but you're wrong.
Okay.
Hey, listen, let's wrap this up here.